Hello everybody, welcome to another paid clip, and this video is for those of you who don't know much about the monk class, more specifically Windwalker monks, because this is what the guide is for. And so for those of you who do know, the basics of the monk class, then this video probably isn't for you. There may be things that, you may have overlooked, and you may learn a couple things you never really know. But this is for the absolute beginners who don't know things about the resources, buffs, finishers, all that sort of things. So let's get into it. Windwalker monks use energy and chi as their main resource. Energy regenerates at a baseline rate of 10 energy per second, but increases with haste and heroism abilities. It also increases with a spell called Energizing Brew, which restores 60 energy over 6 seconds and has a 60-second cooldown. Now there's a lot of sort of alliteration. Unlike most classes, our global cooldown is 1 second. Most of the other classes have a 1.5 second global cooldown. And chi is the resource we build using abilities like Jab, and we spend that chi on stronger abilities that are usually people refer to them as finishers. You can only have 4 chi at a time, or you can have 5 if you're talented in Ascension. To kind of wrap your head around how it works, think of chi as a rogue's combo points, only it stacks on the monk like a paladin's holy power does. So it's kind of like a combination of both of those. For buffs, we have 2 buffs that we need to have up on us all the time. It's really cool that we have, covers the whole spectrum here. We have Legacy of the White Tiger, which increases critical strike chance by 5%, and Legacy of the Emperor, which increases strength, agility, and intellect by 5%. So on to our finishers. As a monk, there's like a bunch of abilities you could spend chi on, but they're not really important, and they have like very little use. So for now, I'm going to go over the chi finishers that we'll be using all the time. First up is Tiger Palm, the cheapest of all of the finishers because it only uses 1 chi, does some damage, and gives you this buff called Tiger Power, which ignores 10% of your target's armor for 20 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. The next one is Rising Sun Kick. Uses 2 chi on an 8-second cooldown, does some damage, and puts mortal wounds on your target, and applies a debuff to all targets within 8 yards that makes them take 10% increased damage. Blackout Kick, another ability, uses 2 chi with no cooldown. For Windwalkers specifically, because this does different stuff with other specs, if you attack from behind your target, it will throw a debuff up that does an additional 20% damage over 4 seconds. And if you attack from the front, it'll instantly heal you for 20% of the damage done. Another ability is called Fists of Fury. Uses 3 chi, our most expensive finisher, with a 25-second cooldown. This attack does damage every second for 4 seconds, and it's channeled where you cannot move while it's being channeled. It's an AoE, but very weak because it spreads the damage evenly over all the targets, and it also stuns your enemies for the duration of the ability, which is, like I said before, is 4 seconds. For AoE, you have Spinning Crane Kick, which is like a Warrior's Bladestorm ability. It does damage every second for 3 seconds. You can move at 30% reduced speed, and it generates 1 chi if it hits at least 3 targets. So because of this, you really only want to use it if there are 3 or more targets. The last AoE ability is Flying Serpent Kick. With this ability, you soar through the air, and you can hit the ability a second time to land down, deal some damage to an enemy, sort of like a Thunderclap-esque type thing, within 8 yards, and slows them by 70% for 4 seconds. And lastly, this is a very important part of our damage. It's from a passive called Brewing Tiger Eye Brew. So what this is, it's a self buff that stacks up to 10, where for every 4 chi that you consume, you get 1 buff of Tiger Eye Brew, which increases damage done by 2% per stack. And these stacks stay up for 3 minutes. Once it reaches 10 stacks, you want to use the ability called Tiger Eye Brew, which, because of all the stacks, increases your damage by 20% for 15 seconds. So hopefully this video was helpful for those of you who are interested in playing a Windwalker monk come Mists of Pandaria. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys gave it a thumbs up, shared it with your friends, and added it to your favorites if you liked it, because I put a lot of effort into it, and I think this can really help a lot of people who are interested in playing a monk and just haven't really read much about it. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, And I'll see you guys in Mists of Pandaria.